Good afternoon, welcome to News and Views on this Thursday afternoon, the 8th of February. As we mentioned yesterday, we have with us this afternoon Ernst Kraft.
Thank you.
I don't know if you like to be called Ernst or Ernesto.
That's the same to me. As long as it's not Ernie, I'm quite all right.
You're fine.
Ernesto, to me, and most people in the village, they call me like this. And Ernst or Ernest, a lot of people, well, let's say, going really backwards. When I came from high school, so that age, I went for traveling, like a young guy, adventure for 5 years in South America. When I came back with an installation like I'm working in now, and that's maybe why it suits me well. It seems that suddenly everything comes together. It's working with my hands. I mean, that's a physical installation, but there's a lot of other type of work before, like the video I made, and which doesn't explain the installation. It's like a tale, and it's a complete different way of thinking for me. It's not painting. It's also it's digital because there's a lot of manipulation of images, but it still is making of images.
Interesting. You came to Mijas in 1989. You have a studio in Mijas.
1989.
1989.
Yeah.
You have a studio in Mijas and another one in Malaga.
Yeah, in Mijas I have my main studio, which is rather big and where I can work in bigger things. And in Malaga I have a shared studio with two other artists, Veronica Romero and Paco Gonzalez. Each one has its own studio, and you know, I love Mijas, but it's also good for me every now and then to escape from the village and
go to the city.
Yeah.
Now, this is actually a question I wanted to ask you. You have traveled the world. Why did you choose Mijas to live?
A different thing also, I mean, you know, in life, sometimes things just cross your path and go the way it goes. You can go against it, or you can accept it, or whatever. When I went back to Holland, I stayed living in Amsterdam for 12 years or so, and I still love the city. At the other hand, after 12 years, I thought, and that's always a difficult question, would I like this for the rest of my life? Well, always if you put this question, you say no. I mean, so I got kind of nervous. And so I started living in Malaga for a while, and then knowing people, and after all, I ended up in Mijas.
Up in the village.
Yeah.
You are in Mijas now, and you have an exhibition at the Cultural Center in Las Lagunas. We're going to see some pictures of the exhibition, and you can explain us what is this Laberinto Transparente. There you are. These are the... It's actually a transparent labyrinth.
The maze, yeah.
Maze.
Labyrinth or maze. Well, it's the same. The maze is always meant to get lost.
You had a similar project in Mexico.
Yeah, but in Mexico the concept was different. I made it as a garden project, and I made it for the Alzheimer Foundation. And the idea was that to make an abstraction of the brain, like the cut of the brain, because the Alzheimer disease is that you get lost in this labyrinth what the brain is. You don't really lose your memories, but you can't find them, or you can't find the clue where they are.
So that's the idea.
That's the basic idea.
Right. So a very interesting idea, actually. How did you get it from? Where did you get it from?
Well, I had the exhibition in Mexico planned for more than a year. Didn't know really what to do with it yet, and I was thinking, well, I put in some paintings probably or whatever. Then they told me that they had a link with the Alzheimer Foundation. And since I just moved to Malaga, where in the middle of the city is like a labyrinth. The whole thing mixed. Like this image, that is what I made in Mexico. And so I asked them what they thought about the idea. They liked it, to make it in a permanent way. So in the middle of that labyrinth, I planted a walnut tree. Because when the tree grows up and it gives its fruits, the walnuts, they're like little brains, and they're like little labyrinths.
True.
So it's like a continuous process.
Right, interesting. So people going to the Casa de la Cultura, what do they have to bear in mind when they go through the maze?
Well, it's a bit like a trip in your own mind. You can intuition, how you say it? Intuit things, but you don't see them clearly. It is transparent, yet with every layer of transparency,
you see less and less.
You see less and less, and after 4 layers, you only see shadows, really. And that's what fascinates me. That the transparency is some kind of our desire to make things clear, to understand the system, to understand our own brain, but also the system we live in. That's the desire, that's what we want to clear, we want transparency. But really, as long as you're in the labyrinth, it doesn't help you. With all the transparencies, it doesn't help you. You still have to make choices, and it's either one way or the other way, and you cannot judge it. You're only, and that's what I like of this exhibition room, and that's why it's meant for it. That here you can see it, because it's two floors high. You can see it from upstairs, and let's say in the whole metaphor of a maze, of a labyrinth, is that there's a maker, which, let's say in a religious way, the creator, which has the plan and which can judge who is going right and who is going wrong, or who goes back, or whatever. And the human being can't see it. This gives you an insight in the role of the maker, because you can see it from upstairs, and you see exactly how people are moving, and
what they do,
and some are just giving up. They go out and say, "Well, I couldn't find it."
Very interesting. You know, because I've seen the maze before, the exhibition, but I didn't get all this. So very interesting.
I mean, I got into the ideas behind it anyway, because it's nice if you make something to give it some depth. Also in Mexico, they asked me to make a conference about it. So I did inform and did my own thinking about it. Funny thing is that to enjoy the maze, you don't necessarily need to know all the sorts behind it. And it's so funny. Every time I go there are 12, 15 children waiting for me. I want to go in, I want to go in. And the parent there, he gets mad every now and then, because they all want to in together, like in a swimming pool. And they are yelling and shouting, and they're having fun. So I'm a bit more soft maybe, so I said, well, come along, and they go all together, and it's nice, and they're just for the fun of it.